The Trump administration is taking steps to ease regulations on medical marijuana. Today, Attorney General Todd Blanche announcing that he signed an order which would reschedule marijuana that's either FDA approved or state licensed. Marijuana would go from a Schedule 1 drug, which is considered to be the most dangerous and carries a heavy risk of dependence, to a Schedule 3 drug, which is considered much less likely to cause dependence. News 4 is working for you to explain what this actually means and what families should be thinking about. Joining us live to break this all down is Regina LaBelle, a former drug policy advisor for the Obama and Biden administrations and current professor at Georgetown University. Thank you so much for joining us. First up, what is moving the marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, I think it's as important to know what it does as what it doesn't do. And I'll start with what it does. As you mentioned, it puts it into Schedule 3, only medical marijuana. So in the 40 states where medical marijuana is legal, there'll be a DEA process by which those states can register those products. It does two things for that. One is it does ease research for those in those states for medical marijuana to use the products that are medical marijuana in those states. And then secondly, and this is a big win for industry, it opens the door for them to have IRS tax deductions. So the companies that were really behind this, that's really a big win for them. What it doesn't do is it doesn't legalize adult use or what's often called recreational marijuana. That still has to go through a process, and that process begins with a hearing at the end of June 29th. DEA and DOJ will have a hearing to discuss that issue, the adult use, and what schedule that should fall into.
Of course, we've made this clear that this pertains to medical marijuana. So given that, how does this impact the medical community, especially when it comes to research?
Yeah, so researchers will be able to research the medical marijuana products that are being sold in these states. Right now, they have to go through a process to get specific marijuana. The research process has been really eased over the last 10 years. It's not as difficult, but this will allow for more research. But I think the really important thing, and you asked the question about families, I think it's critically important that families understand marijuana is not a benign substance, especially for the developing brain. And, I think that if this is ushered into a new era, it will become even more important for adults, for parents, for guardians to keep these products away from young people because they are especially dangerous for the developing brain.
Yeah, you just you led right into my next question, which would have been your concerns regarding younger children, teenagers in all of this. Parents really going to have to keep a heightened eye, heightened sense to what's happening with all of this.
Right. And I think I've worked on opioid issues for a number of years. And I think that one thing that's really important is we really worked hard to get parents to lock up their meds so that kids weren't taking them. If you've got marijuana in your home, you need to lock it up and make sure that your kids don't get it.
Regina LaBelle, professor at Georgetown University, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.